There were some of the pictures from that memorable night and memorable lap around the ballpark. That was, I believe, after the 7th curtain call of 8 for Cal that night, September 5th, or September 6th, should say, 1995. 30 years ago today. That game became official right around 9:19. We're about 2 hours away from that. Cal Ripken Jr., 26-32. 502 ahead of Lou Gehrig. The longest active consecutive game streak is Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves at 761, which is the 12th longest in Major League history, by the way. But Cal didn't just beat Lou Gehrig's record and everybody else before it, he shattered it. So 21-31, that's the number we celebrate. It was unveiled on the warehouse in between the top and bottom of the 5th innings 30 years ago. Ben, you were there. You were capturing a whole lot of it on your video camera. The electricity that night, what memories come to your head and came to your head during the pregame ceremony tonight?
Just kind of reliving all of it and taking it all in, you know, and seeing Cal out there and mention some of the greats that are here, you know. And I remember sitting there and watching the numbers roll off the warehouse as they counted it down, you know, to 2030, 2031, and when he finally broke the record. And so cool. I mean, just to be a small part of it, just to be a speck here and see it. And the unbreakable record is what it was called 30 years ago. And today, for me, it is still the unbreakable record.
And this ballpark was buzzing before the game and will hopefully be buzzing a little bit later as the Orioles and the Dodgers play game 2 of 3. Time for a walk down memory lane presented by the Good Feet Store. Live the life you love. Don't let your feet get in the way. Visit goodfeet.com. That was the original red Corvette for Cal. And there he is tonight. Took the same lap this time. Got a driver to do so. Around the warning track from the right field corner past the Dodgers dugout. It was wonderful to see Clayton Kershaw and Blake Snell and some of the other Dodgers out there to greet Cal and then stop at the Oriole dugout. Everybody was on the top step for the O's. And now, baseball to be played. The Orioles looking for their 5th consecutive win, and they have the reigning American League Pitcher of the Month. Trevor Rogers looks to continue his magical run with a 1.39 ERA through 14 starts.
All Trevor Rogers did in the month of August, 6 starts. He pitched to a 1.29 ERA. And I tell you what, all of his starts this year, all 14 of them, 13 earned run, or 3 earned runs or less, I should say. What's amazing to me, Jim, is 11 of his 14 starts, 1 earned run or less, and make it 7 starts in a row. He's only given up 1 run. That's how good he is. And that's StatCast 3D. Powered by Google Cloud, we take a look at Trevor Rogers' pitch arsenal. That 4-seam fastball leads the way at 40%. Then it's a changeup. He'll throw an occasional sinker, slider, and the spin has been really, really good. If you look at his opponent's batting average, well, they're all outstanding. Look at the slider and the sweeper below 100. And even that 4-seam fastball, even though it's big league average velocity, opponents hitting just 175 off of it.
Yeah, the amazing thing when you look at the numbers, he only had 1 bad start, and that was the game Tampa Bay. They got him 8 runs in the 2nd inning. He came out, did not challenge hitters. Drew French, the pitching coach, said, hey, you need to be more aggressive, and that's exactly what he's been doing ever since.
Yeah.
Well, here's the Dodgers starting lineup in their consecutive games played streak. Add all 9 up, it's 137. Andy Pye has the longest at 93 for LA. Just a couple of years away. 21-31 or 26-32.
Yeah, we had a great pitching duel last night, and you're going to get another one tonight if things go according to Hoyle, because Yamamoto has really been pitching well, coming off one of his better games.
Well, here we go, delayed by weather, and the ceremony, it's baseball in Baltimore, and it's a red-hot start for a red-hot matchup. Trevor Rogers and the likely National League MVP, Shohei Ohtani, 7:25. First pitch, 73 degrees. And Rogers, who's averaging 93 on the fastball, starts the game 95 and 96.
Little amped up tonight. Of course, an extra day's rest too with the off day and a 6-man rotation. So a little more rest, probably a little bit stronger than usual.
1-1 for Ohtani. Held hitless last night. He did walk, and he takes a two-seamer right around the corner. That's called ball 2 by Brennan Miller.
Yeah, I asked Trevor yesterday. I said, "Do you like 5 days or 6 days?" He said, "I really prefer only 4 between, so on the 5th day." And he's a command guy. And there's some command right there.
Well, the month of September, I tell you what, been good for the Orioles. They're what, 4-0 in the month of September. The Dodgers, on the other hand, 0-4 in the month of September. They're trying to get going, and the Orioles are trying to keep going.
Yeah, the Dodgers really need a win. Dave Roberts, you don't think that those players weren't out there because of him. A terrific manager.
Ohtani takes a sweeper down and away. It's 3-2 to Shohei to start the game. Leads the majors in runs scored. Top 2 of the National League in slugging and on-base plus slugging and home runs and extra base hits. Yesterday, a strikeout, a walk, 2 groundouts. A 3-2. Ohtani flicks one into right field. And that is just the 8th hit against a lefty in 55 at-bats against Trevor Rogers this year. A leadoff hit for the Dodger DH.
Well, let's take a look at the Oriole defense behind 27-year-old Trevor Rogers. Dylan Beavers gets the start out in left. Colton Cowser in the pasture in center. Jeremiah Jackson in right field. Your double play combination, the H&H boys. Henderson and Holiday. Rivera over at third. Kobe Mayo at first. And Samuel Basayo behind home plate for the Orioles.
And now a leadoff man aboard for Mookie Betts, who takes strike 1. These Dodgers are 78-63. They are still 2 up in the National League West. They keep losing, and so do the Padres. 4 straight losses for LA. Now 5 in a row for San Diego, who was, of course, just swept by the Orioles. There's a changeup that misses. Brennan Miller strikes on as well, and a couple of close pitches haven't gone Rogers' way in the early going.
Yeah, this Dodger offense, man, it is still potent. Yes, it has been slowed as of late, but they're still the 3rd best offense in baseball and the 2nd most home runs in baseball.
A little love back on Ohtani, who, of course, was baseball's first 50-50 player last year. This season, in his return to the mound, he's cut his base stealing considerably, 17 for 23. But always a threat with a big lead at first. He holds on a 1-1, grounded foul by Mookie Betts.
Yeah, the problem with the offense for the Dodgers is that, runner in scoring positions, one of the best numbers in baseball, coming in at 82 last night, and they've gone 4 for their last 27. And that's not going to put the amount of runs on the board. Their first game in Pittsburgh actually scored 7, but they gave up 9.
Neither team had a base hit last night with runners in scoring position. Of course, only 3 runs total scored.
1-2 for Betts is hooked down the line sharply but fouled. Well, Trevor Rogers, the reigning American League pitcher of the month, has this tough course in the lineup. Ohtani, Betts, Hernandez, and Freeman for LA. Trevor is coming off a month where he dominated everybody, in a season where he's dominated everybody. Bad teams, good teams, American League, National League, home, away. And he gets Betts swinging. Chased a two-seamer for the game's first out.
Well, it looked like to me Samuel Basayo set up on the inside part of the plate. But watch Trevor Rogers. Look what the target is, and he just rips it. Misses all the way across to the other side, but it plays well. Two-seam fastball and a big strikeout.
Yeah, the ability, as you know, Ben, he can change speeds, throws almost over 50% fastball changeups. Every pitch was in until that pitch.
Yeah.
And that's part of pitching. Use both sides of the plate.
We have made a lot out of his velocity this year, but for me, it's more about his command, and that's what's been the difference here.
Teoscar Hernandez, Taylor made. Trevor Rogers faces the minimum in the first. What else did you expect? Jackson Holiday of the Orioles coming up. 2,632 games for Cal Ripken Jr. Jeremiah Jackson and Colt Cowser are only 2,614 away. The consecutive games played streak for the Orioles, who roll out the same 9 as yesterday in their 2-1 win, including Samuel Basayo, who hit a walk-off home run. And they'll take on a terrific pitcher, second-year big leaguer Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, Yamamoto, great numbers. They don't score a lot of runs. He strikes out a lot of people, plus fastball and split.
First pitch fastball, Holiday to center, and Andy Pages cleans it up.
So he's got all the pitches, and again, coming off a game twice this year, as you look at it, is again StatCast 3D presented by Google Cloud. Got the four-seamer. You just saw it fly ball to center, splitter. So, you know, again, you think they're the same pitch, low batting averages, and once again coming off a 10 strikeout game against Arizona. They don't score a lot of runs for him, and maybe that's why he's only 11-8, 3.44 runs a game.
He's kind of undersized too. He's only 5'10".
So is Pedro.
Yeah. Pedro had those plastic man fingers though, and an electric arm. And Yamamoto can rush it up there too. His fastball is going to be 93. He'll top out around 97. Typically really solid control. You talk about consistency, man. 15 quality starts out of 26 starts on the year.
2 strikes quickly on Jeremiah Jackson. There's a slider flipped out of play.
It's kind of an interesting windup to me. I was watching the other night, and what he does, he turns that left ankle a little bit to almost give him, to stay closed and give him more momentum to home plate. You know, we saw Ohtani really get into his windup. Yamamoto.
And he'll do that every now and then too. Kind of quick pitcher. Every now and then out of that windup, most of the time it's that big high leg kick, but every now and then he'll just kind of come up and then just slide step towards home plate.
Yamamoto, second-year Dodger, 27 years old. Had a brilliant start to the year. Has been not as good, but still good in the second half. Up the ladder at 96. 197 ERA first 11 and 348 in the last 15. And here's the windup you guys are talking about.
Yeah, little hesitation right there, which is not uncommon. And every now and then he won't pick that leg up too high, just kind of gets it going down the slope.
Here's a 1-2 in the dirt with a hard splitter, 2-2.
Well, they paid what, $325 million, 12 years, and also a posting fees of over $50 million to actually acquire him.
18 starts last year, despite injuries, a 3 ERA. Pitched well in the postseason, leading the Dodgers to the World Series championship, including a brilliant start against the Yankees in the World Series.
Yeah, he had a tricep issue last year. It wasn't serious, but it kept him on the shelf for a while. But he has been healthy and answered the bell every 5th day so far this year. Comes in with a 2.82 ERA. Only 11 wins, as Jim mentioned, but hadn't had a ton of run support.
Mark Pryor, the Dodger pitching coach, looks on as Jackson has worked his way from an 0-2 hole into a full count. And Jeremiah grounds the ball sharply to Freddie Freeman for the second out. Our Maryland Lottery fast play contestant of the game is Cynthia Laxon from Glen Burnie. Cynthia's won $500 for being selected. Will win $500 more for every Orioles home run and 5,000 free Joe's Grand Slam hit tonight. Played today at any Maryland Lottery retailer. So 2 outs on the fastball for Yamamoto. And now Gunnar Henderson, who takes a cutter. He was eaten up by cutters from Ohtani yesterday. Gunnar was 0 for 3 with a walk. Still leads the Orioles in hits, doubles, triples, homers, RBI, steals, walks, and all 3 slash line categories.
Yeah, and you talked about it, Ben. I mean, the Orioles have won 4 in a row, 3 against the Padres. And you know Gunnar, who's only 1 for 10 in September, is going to turn it on.
Oh, yeah. It's coming. You know, and the crazy thing about them being 4-0, if you look what they've done, 7 for 42 in the 4 games with runners in scoring position. They have, like the Dodgers, have not hit well with runners in scoring position. But the pitching during that time has been really solid. The bullpen has been outstanding over the last 4 games. And the Orioles are off to their best start out of any month so far this year.
3-0 pitch is a strike.
And even though you're 1 for 10, you will take the walk. But again, home runs. San Diego, you did the game. What Holiday let it off. They hit 3 home runs back to backers in the 3rd inning. Boy, that's a nasty pitch.
Yeah. Well, you know, the fastball before that set it up, right? 97 right to the inside part. Then he starts that little slider right in the same spot. It looks like the fastball, and it just kind of eats him up on the inside part.
15th pitch of the 1st inning. Henderson swings away and fouls it away. Fastball's a little up for Yamamoto tonight as well. Typically 95. He's been sitting 97 pitching on a little extra rest. Sunday against the Diamondbacks, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, no walks, struck out 10. And he strikes out Gunnar on another cutter. Special guest in the booth, the first of many, when we come back on the anniversary of 2131. Tonight's first special, Cal Ripken 2131 guest, brought to you by Visit Annapolis. The Annapolis Songwriters Festival returns September 11th through the 14th. Plan your fall adventure at visitannapolis.org. A Hall of Famer and the man who started on the mound for the Orioles that night 30 years ago, the great Mike Msina is in the booth with us here in the second inning, along with Ben McDonald and Jim Palmer. 616 wins in this booth right here. I have none of them, and you're already upset about the first pitch.
That's right down the middle. What's
well, welcome.
Moose, we looked a little bit younger in those pictures a few years ago, didn't we?
We were a lot younger back then.
Yeah.
And back then, that was the first pitch.
Used to be a strike?
Yeah, it was a strike.
Well, it is Freddie Freeman batting.
Oh,
that
well, it's still a strike.
That's a strike from Rogers, 1-2. Mike, 30 years ago, what are your memories of that night?
Obviously, there was a lot going on. It was a big lead up the whole season, obviously, because it was in September. So we were just kind of looking forward to it happening and you know, enjoying the event. And I do remember the first inning, and I told Ben this story already. You know, you go out there, I start the first inning, and Tim Salmon hits a home run, and I'm like, okay, now we didn't do all this to now lose this game, so let's get it together. So that's my biggest memory of the night. And then of course it was just chaos from that point for the rest of the evening. So and then I had to speak when the whole thing was over.
That's right, but you pitched pretty good. Here's a story I want to get out of you. I remember there's a story where you talked to Cal right before that series started, and you suggested a different batting stance to him. He said, Junior, why don't you just kind of get a little more athletic, spread out a little bit, get the bat on your shoulder, and go to work. And it kind of worked. Hit a home run to right center field, ends up homering. He actually homered in 21-29, 21-30, and 21-31.
So, I mean, I talked about hitting to a lot of guys because I'm trying to learn about pitching by talking to hitters. So, but Cal changed his stance, and anybody that ever watched way back then saw Cal change his stance every other week. So I just thought the way he was looking was like, Cal, if I'm pitching to you, you're out easy. Let's start doing something different. And I didn't know it was going to work that good. I just made a suggestion to him, and he took it. And he took it and ran with it and hit the ball all over the place. And it was awesome. It was great theater even for you know, at that series to hit home runs every night.
Right.
Did you ever tell him to take a day off?
Heck no, I wanted him out there every time. Every ball that was hit to Cal was an out. He may not have made the great play in the hole or one of those diving stops, or, you know, but if the ball's hit to Cal, it's an out. If it's a ground ball for a double play, Cal's turning the thing at second base. He's standing in there. He's going to take the slide. He's not going to get out of the way. It was, you know, you could count on it. You know, you're just looking for something you can count on every day, and you knew he was going to give you exactly what you needed every time you're out there.
What was amazing to me is, and I'm sure you would say, so many ground balls went by me to the left or the right, and I went, oh my gosh, there's a base hit, and Junior was standing right in the right spot every time. Way before there were shifts and all those kind of, he kept saying, Moose, you throw the ball where you're supposed to, and I'll be in the right spot.
If you do what you're supposed to do, I'll do what I'm supposed to do, and that's kind of how it was. And yeah, there weren't super shifts back then, but he moved around, and he read the hitter, and he read the pitch, and got to the right place and made the play.
Fouled away by Call. It's 2-2 on Rogers. Mike Msina in the booth with us here. One of the things I've wondered for a while, the 22-minute break in the game when Cal gets the ovations, takes the lap. That is, and he said this is a long break for a starting pitcher. It's almost like a rain delay. What did you do during that time, which including the bottom of the inning was about a half hour?
I really just enjoyed the moment. I mean, it was it's a once in a, now it turned out to be once in a lifetime thing, not just once in a career or once in a decade thing. It was once in a lifetime thing. I just enjoyed it, you know, to get to see him finally, you know, get this off of his shoulders, to finally finish the journey to that point. I didn't know it was going to go another 400 and whatever it was games, but 500 games. But it was good to see him enjoy it and get a chance to, you know, I didn't know he didn't know he was going to do a lap and all this other stuff and create that kind of delay. But it didn't matter. I wasn't upset about it or anything. It was just let him do this. This is an unbelievable event, and I'll worry about my stuff when it's my turn to worry about it again. And we ended up we won the ball game, so it was really a good night.
3-2 for Alex Call here in the second. And a little ground ball to the Orioles shortstop of today. Gunnar Henderson 30 years later cleans it up. You spoke after the game. You announced on behalf of the team you all got Cal a solid mahogany pool table and a 2,131-pound landscaping stone with the numbers 2131 on it. Do you know where those ideas came from?
I really don't know where the ideas came from. We probably just started asking all kinds of people what they thought the whole season. What can we get that's going to be pretty permanent, not just a T-shirt or something, that's not going to, but something that was permanent. So I think that's kind of where we came up with those ideas. Somebody saw some landscaping something, or somebody thought a pool table would be nice one for inside and then one for outside. So that's kind of where that stuff came from.
Moose, do you have anything, a game ball from that night or anything?
I'm sure I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure I do. I don't know where they are.
I understand. It's been a few years ago.
It's been 30 is a few years. But I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have game ball or two. I think Cal actually signed boxes of game balls because it was kind of like every time a ball left the game, it went in a bag that was specifically kept for that game. So I'm sure we all got one of those, and I might have. I'm sure I still have a hat or a glove or something that I wore.
Rogers strikes out Pages appropriately with these three aces here, a 1-2-3 inning. Mike Msina, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
It's been great.
Moose, always good to see you.
Good to see you guys again.
Take care of yourself.
Again.
Thanks, Moose.
Yep. My pleasure.
Mike Msina on the 30th anniversary of 2131.
And let it be said that number 8, Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This special Cal Ripken 2131 guest here in the bottom of the second inning as we continue along on 2131 night. You heard the words there. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star. This guest brought to you by the Charm City Circulator. Stay for the last pitch. The Orange Bridge runs until 11. For select weekday games, visit charmcitycirc.com. That, of course, was the voice of the iconic Chris Burman, who is in the booth with us now, 30 years on from 2131. Chris, thanks for being with us. Wonderful to see you.
It's an honor to be back here, Kevin and Ben, and of course Jim. I mean, it's an honor. I remember it like yesterday. Don't ask me what I had for breakfast.
That was my next question.
Okay. I think eggs, not sure. This is just seeing even the number up there, right, guys? I mean, just seeing it.
Same place it was 30 years ago. And it looks like the same exact colors and numbers as it was 30 years ago.
Well,
and you were here. You remember it rolling down?
Well, yeah, I will say this. The night before, when 2130 hit, that was a number we knew as kids, Ben. Like 714 or 755 or 61 for those of us a little older, right? Like, you knew that 2130, Lou Gehrig. And it was like, wow, the night before was, whoa. And then this night was a celebration of, but for 24 hours, it was the unreachable star was tied. And Cal said he was more emotional with that in retrospect than he was on this night. I mean, you guys know him and see him more than I do, but
Well, I asked you when we were down in the room, I said, so did you have a nickname from almost everybody, but you didn't have a nickname?
Nah, because if Cal, Jim, it would have to be an A or an A plus nickname. I mean, Ben could be Old McDonald, duh. I mean, that's kind of a layup. I don't mean duh to you, but I mean, and Raphael down there is Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
That's right.
And Larry was Satin Sheets. I mean, these are the guys who are, Eddie was Eat, Drink, and Be Murray.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Cal, unless it was an A or an A plus, I wasn't going there, Jim.
Yeah. And you did.
It's hard to top just the Iron Man. Like, that's kind of where it stops.
Colt Kauser in the air to left. Alex Call will get there. Where did Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star come from?
It might have been, to be honest with you, I mean, you had lived most. I wrote that one sentence down on my scorebook. I don't usually do that. It's Don Quixote. It's from Man of La Mancha, which was a big Broadway hit. You were too young. But I mean, it's still around.
It. That's the sad
thing.
It's
still around. No, it's not sad. It's great.
Yeah, Robert Goulet said.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, to reach the unreachable star. I mean, it's. And I said, boy, that really fits. I don't know. It's not something I worked for 2 weeks to say. What are you going to say?
You didn't Al Michaels it, Did you believe?
Well, I mean, it wasn't. It was one of the few records that is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
It's hard. You don't go to the park know that we're going to get a no-hitter or 4 home runs or. But that being said, that was all I wrote down. Reach the unreachable star. And not in the sentence. I wouldn't have read in the book.
And you work with Buck Martinez, didn't you?
Buck is the best, and he. We were smart enough not to say anything for about 20 minutes. And then, you know what the lesson is for us broadcasters? We get paid to speak, right? We won an Emmy for saying nothing. There's a message in there somewhere.
I feel like I should say nothing in response.
No,
to we get the Emmy tonight.
Hell, maybe. It was fun. Just an aside here.
Do you have to go, by the way?
No, I'm here.
All right, you want to stick around for the top of the third?
If you have nothing else to do.
We have you.
Don't you have guests that are a little better than me, Cal?
In an inning. No one's better than you. Come on.
Come on.
We'll be back with Chris Burman on the anniversary of 21-31. Inside the lab, the night of September 6th, 1995. Time of delay, 22 minutes. Time of the night, military time was 21:31. Curtain call 7. And words spoken by our special guest here in the third inning, Chris Burman, 0. And you mentioned it before we went to break. We're back here with Chris, Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Jim Palmer. You guys won an Emmy for laying out. What's it like going through that moment with you and Buck? When do you decide, consciously or subconsciously, the best thing we could do here is just not do anything?
Well, obviously, Kevin, we never spoke about it because nobody knew that it was going to be a curtain call. Okay, there's going to be something. But then it went from 3 to 7 to 10. Anything we could have said would have detracted from the moment. I mean, we were crying half the time.
That's in the left from Rojas, who leads off the third inning against Trevor Rogers with the Dodger double. Miguel Rojas down in the 7th spot.
We all were crying, and I'm sure anyone here and watching it was the same way, crying from the moment of elation, if that's the right word. We couldn't have spoken for about 10 or 12 of the 20 minutes or whatever it was if we wanted to. And it was before HD TV, but it was like, look, these pictures, our director Mark Payton, producer Phil Orleans, Buck and I were like, look, how are we going to top what we're seeing right now? And the answer was, you're not. We didn't write each other a note, to be honest with you, like, hey, let's not talk. We're pretty choked up. You guys know it. It was a night for America, too. I mean, it was, this isn't news on this broadcast, but after no World Series, after strike that even lasted at the beginning of April the next year, or where they didn't start on time. It was baseball saying, no, this is baseball. This is the American work ethic. Somebody packed their lunch for 14 years, never called in sick. I understand we're not going to a coal mine. We're playing baseball. Isn't kind of that how we were built? I mean, it hit me that night. And then, oh, by the way, the president's in the park, President Clinton, Vice President Gore. I think the only night in Major League history the sitting president and vice president have been at the park at the same time. I believe that's true. And by the way, along with everybody else, there's Joe DiMaggio, representing Lou Gehrig, his teammate. So, you want me to talk? No, thank you.
4-pitch walk for Hernandez. Chris Berman's in the booth with us here in the third. Bill Clinton was at the game you mentioned. He come on the broadcast with you that
Oh, yeah,
night?
third inning. He wanted a nickname, Jim, President Clinton. I think we talked about this, and at the very end, he goes, I had not met him until he sat down. Oh, by the way, he's the President of the United States.
Yeah, by the way.
I know who he is, but we hadn't met. Hi, Chris. His hand comes out, and he, from Arkansas, big Cardinal fan, but knew his baseball, which was really cool. And at the end, he goes, well, I was hoping for a nickname. I went, you know what, Mr. President, I might have a couple, but I think I want to run it through the cabinet first. I don't feel. I'll tell you one story, and maybe your cameras can even catch this, okay? The president's coming in the booth. We're an hour before the air, when we're sitting like you, Buck Martinez and I, or statistician Marty Aronoff, wouldn't stop it. And I went, hey, Buck, look up on those lights in left field. You see up there, those two snipers? They have me. Now.
Ortfed down to third on the sacrifice, and Rivera's throw has the first out.
All right, so that's left field. And I said, all right, now, Buck, look on the lights on top of the warehouse. See those two snipers up there? They have you. So what I'm telling you is when the president sits down right where Ben's sitting right now. You look presidential, by the way. You're young, McDonald. I said, if we drop a pen, do not make a move for it. I'll never forget it.
When you saw that red laser light on your chest, you knew not to do anything silly, huh?
Well, yeah, I may look dumb, but this is great because I have not really thought that, because I'm sitting right. Well, if not, maybe I was right here. I don't know that, but there they were, and there they were. Okay, behave yourself, boys. And we did. There's a story you don't hear very much.
So good. An amazing story. Chris Burman is with us in the booth. Dodgers in the lead on the Ohtani groundout. You've covered 30+ straight Super Bowls, something like that. You've had an incredible career. Where does 21-31 rank for you?
The highlight of my career.
Number one.
Yes. And that's an easy answer, and I'm not saying it because I'm on the Orioles broadcast.
Down to third, Rivera. Thanks for making this a highlight of our night.
Well,
Chris.
I appreciate it. It's the highlight of my career, all the football I've done, but for that night, it was just so big. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much for coming.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Good to be back.
Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Tower Federal Credit Union. Tower Federal, your hometown credit union for over 70 years. And by Papa John's, 50% off regular menu pizzas at papajohns.com the day after a Gunnar Henderson home run with promo code GH50. Only regret is that we didn't get a back home run call from Chris Burman in the bottom of the second. Dodgers lead at 1-0 thanks to Chris, thanks to Mike Msina. Special guest with us on 21-31 night, the 30th anniversary. Dodgers have the lead. Shohei Ohtani's groundout brought in Miguel Rojas, the first run against Trevor Rogers, and now the Orioles have Beavers, Basayo, and Mayo against Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
And the Dodgers do exactly what their manager Dave Roberts has been talking about. Do the little thing.
They did it. That inning.
Yep.
Lead off double. Get him over and get him in.
And how many times do you think Ortfed has had to bunt in his career? But he does a good job. And then Ohtani, he just hits a routine ground ball. You got yourself a 1-0 lead. And Yamamoto, he got some outstanding stuff tonight.
Yeah, velo is up. Man, that cutter of his, he can really get it to the inside on those left-handers.
Working with Ortfed, who, by the way, is starting after Dalton Rushing was placed on the IL before the game with a right shin contusion after the foul ball last night. Chucky Robinson added to the roster as a third catcher. Will Smith is still dealing with a bone bruise in his right hand.
Yeah, I saw him on the way to hit. I said, how's the hand? He goes, I will know a little bit more later. And of course, he was red hot. You know, helped him win a game with a walk-off. Got 3 hits on Tuesday and hasn't played since. Yeah, there you go.
Dylan Beavers does what he does. He gets on base. Leadoff man on for Samuel Basayo. Tonight's T-Mobile coverage cam. Basayo's first Camden Yards home run, a 2-strike, 2-out walk-off off of Tanner Scott last night.
And I'm talking about an upper 90s heater. He turned around and just buried it out in right center field. his second long ball of the year, and it was a game winner.
21-year-old, and the baseball gods are always finding new ways to thrill and mess with us. It was 21-year-old Samuel Msina off 31-year-old Tanner Scott the night before the 21-31 anniversary. Msina had his first home run in San Francisco last week, and he fouls a ball off of his lower body.
You know, you don't think it's going to cut. You don't see a lot of spin, and it's 93 miles per hour. And I don't know what it was off his shin.
Look at that cutter just boring in. That's about the only place you can hit it. We were down in the tunnel before we went out on the field a while ago and talking to Rafael Palomero, and they started talking about Mario Rivera's cutter, and he said you just couldn't see the spin. You knew what it was going to do, but your eyes fooled you. It looked like a fastball coming in, and he would just bore it right in on the hands of the left-handers.
Yeah, for over 600 saves.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was talking to Mike Msina, and he said, people don't realize. I said, well, I did. He said he came up with a two-seam fastball.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden you had to look for, you know, the lefty, the ball was coming in, the righties was going away, and now all of a sudden you had a different look.
That skips away from Rortvedt.
Yeah.
Boy, Dalton Rushing had a brutal night behind the plate, handling balls in the dirt yesterday, and a tough chance for Rortvedt here gets away for Yamamoto's 5th wild pitch of the year.
We saw that a few times last night. Watch this, man, just buries it in the dirt, and no chance at all really for Rortvedt. Again, on one knee, and when you're on one knee, you'll never make me believe that's not hard to slide your body to get in front of it. Sometimes when you go to the backhand side to pick it, it pops away.
Yeah, I call Rick Dempsey all the time about that, you know, and of course he caught the guy in the booth next to us. Well, Hershiser had 59 consecutive scoreless innings, and Demper goes.
What's Demper think about the one knee stance?
You can't move as well.
That's right.
Now I understand they're trying to get the low strike.
Yeah, well, he didn't get it.
Oh boy.
Back-to-back walks from Yamamoto to start the 3rd. Birdlight joined us at Camden Yards for an exciting matchup against the Yankees in a couple of weeks, September 18th through the 21st. HBCU and Divine Nine Night Fan Appreciation Weekend among the fun all weekend long. Go to Orioles.com/tickets. Those play the Yankees the last 2 weekends of the year here in Baltimore, and then the final weekend of the year in New York. Yanks are 4 behind Toronto in the East coming into today. They did beat the Jays, so now they're now 3 back, and they are the leaders in the American League wild card.
You think a bunt's out of the question?
Apparently it is.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I would love to see one in this case. 1st and 2nd, nobody out, down by 1. Look like Kobe Mayo is going to swing away.
Well,
hopefully he'll find the outfield grass.
That's what the Dodgers did, because Trevor Rogers is Trevor Rogers. You don't have big innings, so you got to play small ball, even if it's the 3rd inning. Now, do we know Kobe Mayo can bunt?
He tried a few weeks ago and was not successful.
Yeah. And Tony Mansolino may not have confidence. That's not a good strike to ball ratio.
Mayo fouls back a heater at 97. Last night, Kobe 1 for 3 with a base hit. Same 9 as the Orioles today. Yesterday, the Dodgers really pitched well. Ohtani went 3 2/3 in a spot start for the injured Tyler Glasnow, and then 6 relievers combined to give up just 2 runs.
Yep.
But it was 1 run too many as Tanner Scott allowed the walk-off to Basayo.
And Yamamoto, look at him. He's calling his own pitches out there. He's got that pitch comp system on his left hip. And he's pushing the buttons and relaying it to Ben Rortvedt behind home plate. There's Tanner Scott.
Yamamoto's 1-2 is inside.
Yeah, a little sinker that moved about 8 inches, but off the plate.
He'll throw that 2-seamer about 7% of the time. He loves the 4-seamer 36% of the time. But he throws it in to set it up to normally try to get that little sweeper, that little breaking ball to the outside part of the plate.
And there's a beautiful curveball. The sweeper can be a pitch for Yamamoto. He's got all kinds of breaking balls. The curveball hooks Mayo here for his 3rd K.
That's pitching right there. Fastball in, speed the bat up, and then get to something off speed on the outer part of the plate.
Well, we're talking about Cal, and Cal became a shortstop because of Earl Weaver, and in these cases, Earl Weaver would have been happy. He would have liked to have hit a 3-run home run, as we know.
Wouldn't have planned for this. Holiday bounces into a 4-6-3. Rojas bends Freeman. A couple of walks, but the Orioles do not score after 3. Orioles baseball is brought to you by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. '30th anniversary of Cal Ripken Jr. breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played record, and there is the Iron Man right there in the left side of your screen, taking a seat in the front row. This game is just a couple of innings away from becoming an official game, as it was 30 years ago. Midway through the 5th, Orioles had the lead that night, 3-1. There is going to be a special 5th inning surprise, so don't go anywhere in an inning. Don't go anywhere, period. And don't go anywhere now, because I think we have a special guest joining us from the front row with the headset on. Is the Iron Man himself, Cal Ripken Jr. Hi, Cal.
Yeah, all the way down the front row.
Must be in the front row.
I thought you were going to come down with me, Ben.
I might make an appearance at some point down that way.
You think we should send Ben down shortly?
I'm going to leave shortly.
I may find you.
We have that special thing to do in the 5th inning, don't we?
A special surprise for folks who want to stick around. What's this night been like for you, Cal?
More emotional than I thought it would be. I thought, 30 years later, we're looking back and we're kind of feeling good about it. But getting in the Corvette, same one that I was in 30 years ago, going around, the warmth out of the stands, the emotion out of the stands was really obvious. I almost got through my remarks without
Yes.
a little tear, but it got me at the end. But still really cool.
Are you able to maybe? There was so much. I feel like there was so much going on 2030, 2031 leading into it. Are you able to maybe just take it all in and enjoy it maybe a little bit more today, 30 years later?
I think you're on to something, Ben. At the time you were trying to make everyone happy and you're getting pulled in many different directions. This is just the 30-year anniversary of the overall celebration. So I wasn't sure, how it was going to be received or really how I'd feel about it until I got on the track out there. And you got a chance to sit back and really, really enjoy it. So, I mean, it was very, very nice.
Well, you kind of talked about it. It's hard to believe it's 30 years ago, but do you ever marvel that you were able to do that?
I think the longer you're out, Jim, you kind of look back and go, that was pretty amazing. How did I not get hurt, or how did I not miss a game? Or I know there was a lot of low moments. I mean, sometimes you feel sorry for yourself when you're not playing well. Sometimes you have nagging injuries that just nag you the whole year. But somehow you find a way to get through and then get yourself back on track again.
Strike to Freddie Freeman. Cal, we know about, a lot of folks know about the brawl against the Mariners where you twisted your knee. You thought maybe you wouldn't be able to play, and you ended up getting out there the next day. What were some of the other top moments for you as Freddie Freeman
Stay down.
sends this ball? It will stay in the park and right. Kicks away from Jackson. Freeman's thinking 3 here. That ball bounced a little further away from Jeremiah, and it's a triple for Freddie Freeman with 1 out in the 4th.
Yeah, homer last night and now a triple. It looked like it hit maybe the mesh and kicked left.
It's hit something weird and shot toward right center field.
Yeah, I was reminded of what Dad used to say all the time. Even though it took a bad carom and he went over there, you got to pick it up the first time. And I saw Freddie Freeman looking over his shoulder, trying to determine whether he was going to go for 3 or not, and not getting the ball cleanly the first time allowed him to go to 3rd.
Down to 3rd, Rivera fields a ground ball from Call and gets the out of 1st. Freeman held at 3rd on out number 2.
I mentioned last inning when you came up as the 3rd baseman. What were your thoughts when Earl said, "I want you to play shortstop"?
Well, Earl didn't give me any warning. I came in and I looked at the lineup because normally I had a 5 next to my name just to make sure I was still in the lineup. and there was a 6 next to my name, and I thought that he might have had a little bit too much to drink the night before and put the wrong number on. And Lenny Sagata told me, he goes, "You're playing short today." And then I went up and I saw my dad. He goes, "You're playing short today." And Earl called me in, and he gave me the weakest sort of speech. But he said, "Look, I want you can catch a ground ball, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "When the ball's hit you, I want you to catch it, get a really good grip on it, take your time, make a good throw to first base. If he beats it, he's only on first."
Yeah. There you go.
Did he throw in the 3-run home run while he was giving you an offensive lesson?
No. But it is interesting. He paid me the biggest compliment at the end of the year, saying if he'd have moved me, come on, make that. Yes.
Evers will. Cal, thanks for joining us. I know you got to go because, again, we've got something special cooked up in a couple of half innings here. So we'll see you shortly. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing this night with us.
Yep. Good to be with you guys.
Cal Ripken Jr. on the 30th anniversary of 21-31. 1-0 Dodgers. The 4th inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by Baltimore area Toyota dealers. It's game on at Toyota. Visit your local Baltimore area Toyota dealer or check out buyatoyota.com. 30 years ago, in the bottom of the 4th inning, Cal Ripken took the trot around the bases with his homer off Sean Bosky on a 3-0 pitch as part of that Oriole win, the record-setting night. The Orioles shortstop tonight, Gunnar Henderson, is the next man up behind Jeremiah Jackson in a 1-0 game. Kevin Brown and Jim Palmer. We are losing Ben McDonald. He's on special assignment.
That's a big guy to lose in many ways.
We've had Cal with us. We've had Chris Burman. We've had Mike Msina. And we're going to settle in a little bit here before another special surprise coming in a couple of half innings. 2-1 Yamamoto to Jackson.
As the Orioles try to figure out Yamamoto. As you mentioned, he's only 27. When he was 22, he went 18-5, and over in Japan, then 15-5, 17-6. ERAs at 116, 168. This guy's got a pretty good idea how to pitch and great stuff. And he doesn't use them all, but he's got 6 pitches, and he throws most of them for strikes. Good news is Trevor Rogers has only given up a run.
Jackson takes in the dirt. It's 3-2. Yamamoto signed, as you mentioned, Jim, a $325 million contract over 12 years. That was a specific number to him. Garrett Cole had signed a couple of years prior for $324. And so Yamamoto, though 3 more years, was able to top that dollar amount by $1 million, and an investment that led the Dodgers to the World Series in their season last year, his first in the big leagues. What's impressed you about his mix, watching him through the postseason last year and then watching him tonight?
Well, he's got exceptional stuff, and the cutter looks like a fastball, but it isn't. And that's what Basilio hit off his foot. And there's a 2-seamer. You think it's hittable, but it moves about 4 or 5 inches, and a ball that starts in the middle of the plate ends up on the inside corner. And then Mookie Betts throws him out.
Yamamoto has recorded now 5 of his 10 outs on the ground. And a 1-0 lead for him as Gunnar Henderson steps in with 1 away.
Yeah, we go back to last inning when he walked the first 2 batters. His whip, which is walks and hitters per inning, is only 105. So that means hits and walks, he's up there with the leaders. So he throws a lot of strikes.
A low one to Henderson, who struck out on a cutter in the first, and gets a tight fastball down and in here.
Well, part of pitching is staying out of the middle of the plate and moving the ball around, and it looks like this young man could do that.
Henderson trying to snap a 6 for 35. No extra base hits in his previous 9 games coming into this evening. And Gunnar takes another cutter low. Orioles 12th in home runs in the majors, 171. Gunnar's got 16. Jackson 16 to lead the way. 7 players 13 or more. There's a high bouncer to Rojas, whose low throw is picked by Freeman for the out. A walk down memory lane presented by the Good Feet store. Live the life you love. Don't let your feet get in the way. Visit goodfeet.com. There it was, Cal on 3-0 against Sean Bosky. The third straight game in which he had homered. He said that Weaver early in his career kind of scolded him for swinging at a 3-0 high pitch, so he didn't like swinging 3-0 very often, but he did that night for one of the most memorable moments in an evening filled with him. Back-to-back home runs, Bobby Bonilla and Ripken on that night.
Yeah, Bobby Bo here tonight. Came over, was part of 2 playoff teams for the Orioles.
A whole lot of special guests on the red carpet. Bonilla, Rafael Palmeiro, Al Bumbry, your longtime teammate, was here. He was the first base coach that night when Cal broke the record. 1-2 for Mountcastle.
And this is like wiffle ball. Make the ball move. And that's 97 right on the outside corner. And there's another one that just misses. At 98.
And now 98 and a little rain. Some precipitation has found its way back to Oriole Park.
Boy, did it rain heavy around 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Heavy rain earlier. Heavy heat from Yamamoto here. It's a perfect fourth for Yoshinobu. Orioles still without a hit. Celebrating the one and only Iron Man of baseball, Cal Ripken Jr. on the 30th anniversary of Cal breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played streak. The Orioles and the Los Angeles Dodgers play baseball tonight, and it's been a very well pitched game. The Orioles without a hit have a couple of walks against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Trevor Rogers has allowed 3 hits and a walk that stranded a pair. The Orioles ace of the year and the Dodgers ace of the year, Jim, are locked in a very well pitched game.
Yeah, I thought this is the way it's going to be. You know, Orioles, if they don't hit home runs, as Ben McDonald said, they don't score a lot of runs, and the Dodgers have been struggling offensively. They're going to get a couple of players back. Tommy Edman and then Muncy, Max Muncy, who great on base percentage and home runs. They're on rehabs, but these guys can pitch. Trevor Rogers, just incredible numbers. I just kind of wondered, like when I talked to him yesterday, would the extra day actually affect his command?
Do you think it has?
No, not really.
Oh, what's this?
This.
That looks familiar.
Man's everywhere.
30 years ago, Ben McDonald was down in the dugout with a video camera, and it looks like he's got the same video camera. Well, probably not the same one from 30 years ago, but he's on the lookout again. Don't get a whip in. Into left center from Rojas. Cowser won't get there. It's beyond him for Miguel Rojas, his second double of the night. They've both been the leadoff innings. Ball was bobbled for a moment by Henderson, but Rojas holds, and he's got a double-double night in the 7th spot.
Yeah, and he's the guy that said, hey, we need to start playing this game with more joy, and part of joy, back-to-back doubles. One down the line and then one up the gap. You know, a veteran hitter that goes up with a plan, and if you don't execute your plan, which is what Rogers gave him, a pitch to hit, he doubles up the gap. See how they play this.
Kike Hernandez, last time he did not bunt, knowing the light hitting catcher Rortvedt was on deck. Hernandez walked on 4 pitches, and then Rortvedt sacrificed both over.
He'd still probably like to get him to third, get him in, get him over, make Rortvedt a better hitter. Might have to play the infield in.
Well, Rojas looked like he was considering getting to third himself. Rogers gave him a long stare down. Miguel Rojas has only stolen 2 bases this year. Dodgers are 21st in the league, 78 steals. Tied for the 3rd highest scoring team in baseball, 5 runs per game, 2nd most homers. They do not run a lot. Hernandez out of play, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, that was an attempt to hit the ball to the right side. Yeah, as we mentioned last night, they're much better. But they're 33 and 37 on the road, and at home they've won 45 games. They score over 5.5-run games at Dodger Stadium. On the road, it drops almost a run a game.
Rogers trying to hold Rojas at second on the first out, and a ground ball is pulled foul. Now, the numbers for Trevor Rogers are really hard to fathom. 1.39 ERA is the lowest by an Oriole through his first 14 starts. You are on that list twice, Jim. You are one of the few people that has an understanding of how hard this is to do.
Yeah. And then when you, and of course he's only done it one time, that's when he got the 8-run second inning down in Tampa Bay and just did not command the strike zone.
Lowest ERA through any major league starters first 14 games of the season since Jacob deGrom. An amazing year for the Mets in 2021. deGrom had a 0.95. Rogers has thrown exactly 7 innings and allowed exactly 1 run in his last 4 starts coming in. 1 run allowed in his last 6 starts coming in, exactly 0 the time before that. But he's trying to hold the Dodgers here, and Hernandez will bloop one into right, advancing Rojas to third. And Los Angeles is 90 feet away from being the first team to score 2 runs against Rogers since July 20th, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, to get Kike back, you know, he had elbow problems, and again, he's been a big part of their success, especially in the World Series. Talked about it, what, 15 home runs in the postseason.
So now Ben Rortvedt, who sacrificed with runners at first and second, nobody out in the third.
And they concede the run. They play back at double play depth. And you know, Trevor Rogers would love to get a strikeout.
Going for a squeeze, Rortvedt, and he fouls it away, and he got Basayo. And he may have stung Samuel's right hand.
Yeah, that's almost might have been a safety squeeze. If you get the bunt down, Rojas comes. Otherwise,
Scott Behringer, Orioles head athletic trainer, checks on the right hand of Basayo.
and usually you right on top of the fingers. Sometimes you put that arm behind you.
The Dodgers starting catcher Will Smith is dealing with a bone bruise in his right hand.
And he got hit the same way, right on the top of the hand. I think this look got more of the fingers.
So if there's anybody in the park who could particularly relate to what's going on here, it's the catcher in the other dugout. And Tony Mansolino and Scott Behringer will head back to the dugout. Well, not quite. They want to see Basayo throw the ball first. A 21-year-old in his 10th start behind the plate in the major leagues. He was the bottom of the 9th hero yesterday.
Whoa.
Oh, he just airmailed to throw badly to second base.
Well, you do have options. Alex Jackson has done a nice job defensively. And if hopefully there's nothing fractured, but you can't throw if you can't feel the ball. And we have seen him. He's got a great arm. Of course, he doesn't really throw that as hard as he does when he tries to throw somebody out stealing.
Kike Hernandez at first base may be thinking, I know where I'm going if he stays in.
Well, Alex Jackson has thrown out about 36% of the guys that have tried to steal, which is an amazingly high number.
Side just tried another warm-up throw, and he airmailed this one as well. It was a little closer to second, but 2 high throws, and he's going to leave the game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, no other choice, and that's part of the deal when you catch.
And he'll walk right past Gary Sanchez, one of the Orioles franchise record 7 catchers this season. and one of 2 currently on the injured list. That was the second one from Basayo, and it was 3 strikes. You're out for Tony Mansolino. Alex Jackson will have to come into the game here, and for the second straight night, a team loses its starting catcher to injury. How about this? Will Smith, the Dodger catcher you mentioned, Jim, hurt by a foul ball off the right hand in Pittsburgh. Dalton Rushing yesterday fouls the ball off his right shin, and Basayo has done both tonight.
Very precarious position.
So Rogers is going to throw a couple of warm-up pitches here while Alex Jackson gets ready below. Well, we have some time to tell you that Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by University of Maryland Athletics. Football season has just begun, and this fall Terpsville is the place to be. Don't miss Maryland football. Secure your seats now at umterps.com/FB tickets. Terps are 2-0. Beat FAU and Northern Illinois in their first 2 games.
Well, to get an idea, as you look at Trevor Rogers, how good he has been. The last time he gave up, what, more than 1 run? On July 20th.
He's being warmed up right now by David Banuelos, the Orioles' typical taxi squad catcher. Alex Jackson will come into the game. Adley Rutschman and Gary Sanchez are both on the injured list. Hopefully Samuel Basayo will not have to join him there. And here is Jackson with the catcher's gear on to take over in a 5th inning pickle. There's Gary, who's going to be out on rehab assignment next week. What else is new for the Orioles, who've lost Sanchez to the injured list twice this year? Rutschman has been on the IL twice. Chadwick Trump went on the IL. Maverick Hanley went on the IL, had a couple of injuries. And now Samuel Basayo leaves this game after being hit in the hand by a Ben Rortvedt foul bunt. And Ben Rortvedt waiting for another pitch to be thrown here from Trevor Rogers.
Well, he's certainly had enough time to discuss the strategy. Anyways, that Jackson throws extremely well. Rogers is tough to run on. But again, the infield back, so they will concede a run, try to keep it at a maximum 1-0. Ohtani waiting on deck.
Well, we didn't expect this kind of a delay on 21-31 night. It's not 22 minutes like it was 30 years ago. It's a 6-minute delay for the injury to Basayo. And Alex Jackson is on. 0-1 to Rortvedt, who squares again, bunts to Rogers. He'll go to first. So Rortvedt has 2 successful sacrifices, and once again he sets up 2 in scoring position with 1 out for Ohtani.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to pitch around Shohei to get the Betts, even though this year Betts is about 250 against righties and lefties. Let's see if they now bring the infield. They do. They bring him in halfway. As you mentioned, Rojas doesn't have great speed. But boy, if you're ever going to hunt for a strikeout, it's right now.
Well, if there's one flaw in Ohtani's offensive game, and maybe there's only one, it's 163 strikeouts in 138 games, 3rd most Ks in the National League.
Yeah, so looking for the 5th strikeout in the 5th inning.
And Rogers 0-2.
So now you got all kinds of options. Try to get him to chase.
Ohtani has not hit it hard tonight. A little jam shot single in the 1st, a soft ground ball for an RBI in the 3rd. Runners in scoring position. Rogers has been elite. He's facing the likely MVP here. 2 on, 1 out. And Ohtani knocks a fastball to the screen.
Yeah, when your runner in scoring position number is 122, that's a little over 1 for 10. You're having a great year.
And the Dodgers are 1 for 5 runners in scoring position tonight. So it's now 7 for 54, 130 against Rogers runners in scoring position.
And Dave Roberts looking on, hoping something will happen offensively.
0-2. Fouled away, headed back our way. Just a little short.
Or was that a fake-ola on your part?
No, that's called being in the ready position.
Oh, was that what?
Hands
that
out.
was?
Thankfully, it didn't happen when we had any booths in the guests in the booth to scare them. Another 0-2. Ohtani flails and strikes out. Rogers picks up that 5th strikeout against the defending National League MVP, and what a spot to get it.
Well, what a part of pitching is, can you strike a guy out when you need to? And the answer is yes. 5th strikeout, great slider, gets him to chase. How'd he do it? Got to 0-2. Now you got to get bets out.
And he does! No! Henderson drops the ball. He had the 3rd out in his glove. And the Dodgers instead dribble across the 2nd run.
Yeah, every possible effort to try to catch that ball. And again, a little cutter inside, and Trevor Rogers right here off the webbing. And again, snow cone, and he can't control it. And Drew French is going to come out and have a little conversation.
That is scored a base hit for Betts, and it snaps Trevor Rogers' run of 7 consecutive starts, allowing 1 run or less.
Not blistered, but hit just perfectly. And again, I mean, Gunnar Henderson's been playing superb shortstop.
So that is Trevor Rogers. That is just the 2nd hit he has allowed this whole season, with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. The league was hitting 1 for 24 in such circumstances against him.
Well, he's gone 12 straight starts without giving up more than 2 runs.
Teoscar Hernandez will try to change that. Out of play, strike 1.
And he is, other than Freddie Freeman, one of their better hitters with runners in scoring position. As we mentioned last night, great April, 9 home runs in his first 34 games. He drove in 33 runs and then pulled a groin muscle and hadn't been the same.
Again, 2 outs here at the top of the 5th inning. When this top half of the inning ends, we will not be tossing a commercial break. We'll be staying here for a special surprise here at Camden Yards. 30 years on for 21-31. First, Rogers and Hernandez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Teoscar has grounded into a double play, struck out swinging. 1-2. It's been a tricky night for Trevor. Leadoff hitters reached 3 of the first 5. 3 extra base hits against him, trying to limit the damage in the 5th. And Hernandez sends one high to right field, not deep. Jackson makes the catch, and with the end of the top of the 5th inning, we will toss it downstairs to public address announcer Adrian Robertson for a special moment here. 30 years on from 21-31 at Camden Yards. Just saw Cal's son Brian Ripken, who is here tonight with his fiancee Jamie, Cal's wife Laura, family members are here tonight.
So Ryan was 2.
2 years old. He said, I do not remember anything about that day, which makes sense because he was 2, but he was excited for the first pitch tonight, 30 years on.
Well, the other great thing about it was, you know, Cal Sr., you know, he was my first manager and coach for years, and he wasn't an emotional guy, but he was tearing up because I think he knew that if Cal hadn't had his influence, he wouldn't have done what he did.
Cal Jr. said that there was some doubt whether his dad would come back for it all. He was removed as third base coach after the 1992 season, but he saw his dad up in the skybox, caught his eye during those curtain calls and ovations. Time to take another walk down memory lane this 30th anniversary. Presented by the Good Feet Store. Live the life you love. Don't let your feet get in the way. Visit goodfeet.com. Cal had to have good feet here to make the long trot around. Shaking hands with fans, teammates. Has shared a special moment with Elrod Hendricks, his longtime coach here in the bullpen. And then the California Angels, including Ron Carew, who was the Angels hitting instructor. They all came out of the dugout to greet Cal that night. Here tonight, 30 years later, watching his Orioles against the Dodgers. The O's looking for their first hit. They trailed 2-0 in the 5th against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And Colt Cowser sprays one out of play for strike 2. Yamamoto has threatened to steal the show on a night where there's been a real buzz in the building. 2 walks, no other base runners. A double play means he's faced only 1 over the minimum through 4.
And he doesn't give up. I mean, coming in at what, 146 and 2/3 innings, only 105 or 106 hits. But tonight his stuff has been special. You know, command wavered back in the 3rd. The Orioles could take advantage of leadoff walks. Not exactly what you want to do in a 1-0 game, but he got away with it. Get a guy on, time run comes to the plate. That's what good starting pitching does. And Trevor Rogers, once again now, is what, 12 straight starts with 2 runs or less, trying to make it 13.
Cowser Rivera Beaver is in the 5th, and Colton strikes out on a splitter as we welcome back to the booth from his special assignment, Ben McDonald.
Just getting some sprints in, back and forth.
So 30 years ago, you were down there with a video camera. We saw you.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
It felt eerie similar.
Not the same video camera.
Not the same, but very similar. Similar size camera, a little bit better quality than the one that I had.
And this time, you got to talk to Cal during the shorter jog.
Yeah, I left him alone other than had a camera in his face a few times 30 years ago, but didn't talk to him very much. But yeah, that was cool, man. I mean, you could tell Junior, and he talked about it when we interviewed him. You know, he was very emotional pregame. You saw it, Kevin. We all heard it, you know, and to see him get emotional again, I think he's enjoying it tonight a lot more than he did 30 years ago.
Well, it's kind of like it's like getting in the Hall of Fame. And there you go. Who's that young guy?
My goodness, huh?
But when you get in the Hall of Fame, you enjoy it after you don't have to give the speech that 1 year. You know, you're nervous. You want to get it over with. And then, of course, as Mike Msina said, he only played another 500 or so games.
You know what it's kind of like in some ways? And you guys both married, of course. Your wedding day, you don't really enjoy it. It happens so fast. There's so much going on, right? You don't get to enjoy everything that's going on, right? But then when you go to another wedding or one of your kids get married, then you kind of get to enjoy it a little bit more. And it's kind of like this. I felt like Junior didn't get to enjoy it. It all happened so fast. It all happened fast for everybody that was there. And now we get to reflect on it a little bit more and enjoy it a little bit more. I know that's a weird comparable, but that's kind of what it feels like. Because I don't remember anything about my wedding night. Like, it happened so fast. There were so many people you wanted to talk to, so many things going on. You didn't get to really enjoy that either. Make sense?
Yeah. I think so. You just had your daughter's wedding, and I imagine you enjoyed that a lot more.
I did. I mean, more emotional than my wedding probably, but I enjoyed it a lot more.
And that was what, probably about 30 years
That's
or so
right.
after your wedding?
That's right. Very good. Don't get me in trouble again now. I don't know exactly how many years it is.
I'd never do that. The good news is your wife's here, so she's probably
she's not listening.
I'm sure she reminded you.
Hope we don't get one of those texts again.
Beaver is down swinging. Yamamoto with a no-hit bid through 5 tonight for the Dodgers. 2-0 LA. Rafi and Bobby said, get out there, Cal, 30 years ago. But this game's not going to start unless you take a little lap. And Palmeiro with a push tonight. The Iron Man back in the number 8 in his home. Massive Plus allows in-market fans to watch the Orioles with no cable subscription or contract required. Stream it on iOS and Android mobile devices, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or MLB.tv. Go to massinsports.com and subscribe today. Trevor Rogers to Freddie Freeman. It's been a more difficult night than most for Rogers. Certainly hasn't pitched poorly. The standards have been so incredibly high. He's at 82 pitches through 5 after a 24-pitch fifth. And Freeman, who struck out and tripled, hooks a ground ball foul. 2-0 Los Angeles lead. The Dodgers have 6 hits against Rogers. The Orioles still without a hit against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And a breaking ball is low, ball 2. Throughout all the hoopla and all the buzz, there has been a baseball game tonight, and Trevor Rogers has had some traffic in it. Stranded a pair last inning and buries Freeman with a 2-seamer here.
Yeah, an unhittable pitch.
That is money right there. Speed that bat up, and Rogers will use a lefty on lefty changeup too. There's his pitch count. Remember, big league average, right about 16 pitches per inning.
Ben, I know you were on the video camera. You get a good look at Rogers down there. Thoughts on what he's done tonight?
I mean, he looked good. I mean, just a line drive to Gunnar Henderson, who did all he could do and hits in his glove. You guys saw it pop out. I just hope Samuel Basallo's okay, you know, because you could almost hear the ball hit his hand. It hit him flush right on top of the hand down there. So some concern there, but you guys saw the throw. You know how it is. When you get hit on your hand, sometimes the fingers go a little bit numb. So we're hoping he's just going to be bruised up a little bit.
We just found out the official word for now. Not much to go on. It's right hand discomfort.
Yeah. Contusion, bruise, pain,
soreness.
So we'll wait to see what Tony Mansolino has to say after the game. Alex Jackson is in. And officially a sellout tonight on 21-31 night. The crowd of 42,612 announced. Freeman through the left side, got it past Rivera.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a magic wand. MVP last year, home run last night. How about, you're up about 6,000 times, and your batting average with runners in scoring position is 332.
I mean, his plate coverage, and we talk about him a lot. I mean, the stroke is so short to the ball, even for a big guy that's, nearly 6'5", but he's got those long levers and a short stroke.
Sean Dubin.
Yep, getting loose.
Jim, there are a lot of Hall of Famers here tonight. You were down there with Eddie and Harold and Ken Griffey Jr. and Moose and Cal. A couple who might be joining in Cooperstown one day. Freddie Freeman,
yeah,
looks like one year in and year out.
Such a good player for the Braves.
That ball smoked to left. Alex Call has a hit. The Dodgers have the first 2 on for the 3rd time in the last 4 innings against Trevor Rogers. 2026 Birdland memberships are on sale now. A Birdland membership, the ultimate way to secure the best seats at a great value with exclusive benefits, including unmatched flexibility, priority ticket and event access, ballpark discounts, and more. Go to Orioles.com/memberships. Brady Anderson's in the house tonight. Larry Sheets, Bobby Bonilla, Ken Griffey Jr., Chris Burman. Pick out a famous face up there in the suite.
Well, I saw Michael Elias. I said, we'd like to loan and borrow a couple of these guys. Yeah, boy, some special players here.
How about the ovation tonight for Ken Griffey, the only non-Oriole player who was introduced before the game?
I said, what'd you end up with? 800? How many home runs? He goes, it's 6-something.
6-something. That's enough. And remember, he was banged up for a couple years too.
And he's the only person to ever do that. Hit the warehouse in the home run derby. And pretty special that the kid would come here tonight Obviously never played as an Oriole, but played against Cal a whole bunch, as a special connection to this ballpark.
There he is. Yeah, story on Ken Griffey Jr. They said early in his career, guys, he wouldn't even care who starting pitcher was. He didn't know who they were even facing that night until he got out in the first inning and stood in the on-deck circle and looked out on the mound and said, oh, yeah, so-and-so's pitching tonight. Like, he was that talented.
A 10-time Gold Glover, 13-time All-Star, and the Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. Two of the great juniors in baseball, that's for sure. Ken and Cal. Pages strikes out. Rogers gets a much-needed K on his 96th pitch of the night. And Pages has struck out twice. And that'll be the end for Trevor Rogers after 5 1/3.
Yeah, he loves to elevate that four-seam fastball. It's been such a good pitch for him this year. He gets ahead, he can use the changeup, or he can elevate there. That's his, what, 7th strikeout of the night? 6th strikeout of the night?
Yeah, and 2 of them when he really needed them. He got Ohtani a couple innings ago.
So Rogers' shortest start since June the 30th. 5 1/3, 2 runs. And it's up to Sean Dubin to keep it at 2. The Orioles Food and Funds Drive, driven by AAA, returns to Camden Yards this weekend. Bring non-perishable food items or monetary donations, with all funds matched by Giant to benefit the Maryland Food Bank. You go to Orioles.com/community to learn more and donate now from home.
And now it's time for our MedStar Health pitching change. Proud to be the trusted medical team of the Baltimore Orioles for the past 10 years. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people.
Well, let's see how Sean Dubin treats the Dodgers.
2 on, 1 out, 2-0 LA. Miguel Rojas takes a cutter for a strike.
Dubin's been good for the Orioles, though. 4 appearances so far, 5 innings worked. He has not allowed a run with 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk.
Rojas 2 doubles against Rogers tonight. Will not chase a sweeper.
He's got about 6 pitches. And pitched for the Astros well early, and then what, gave up 13 runs in 5 1/3 innings.
You know, and he's got a little bit more velocity than you think, too. He'll rush it up to 96 every now and then. Typically right above 94.
That's again another sweeper. Rojas already with 2 doubles.
Well, Trevor Rogers has allowed 2 runs for the first time since July the 20th. And 5 1/3, his shortest start since June 30th. He's just been that good. 6 innings plus in his last 10 into this evening. And now it's up to Dubin to make sure that number stays at 2, doesn't get to 3 or a season high 4, with Freeman and Call the Dodger runners. Dodgers do ground into a lot of double plays. Rojas has bounced into 6. Get into 99 as a team, tied for 7th coming in. This ball's elevated to Jackson and right. It's the 2nd out, and the runners will hold.
Yeah, nice little play on a ball, slicing away from him. He's going to be a good outfielder.
Yeah. We talk about it all the time. His footwork, because he was an infielder, he really gets pretty good jumps and the feet work. And I love the transition too, Jim. You see how fast he's a lot faster than a typical outfielder, getting the ball in his glove and throwing it because of the infield.
Well, he threw a guy out from the base of the wall, and it was like he was turning a double play, and then made a perfect throw to second.
It is accurate.
Right field, Kike Hernandez. Jackson is there again. The run number will be 2 for Trevor Rogers. 2 runs or less for a 13th straight start, thanks in part to Sean Dubin. 30 years ago today, with the world's most overqualified color commentator, that was John Miller, our special Cal Ripken 2131 guest, brought to you by T. Rowe Price, the exclusive investment and wealth management partner of the Orioles. Better questions, better outcomes. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. 30 years later, John, welcome back to Baltimore.
Hey, what a pleasure to be here, and what a night it was. I thought the celebration was great. I thought, and the Oriole fans kind of made that night the way they had. What was it? 22 minutes I read was the sustained roar. They staged their own celebration, which Cal had told the Orioles he would not allow. No celebration during the game. That's not right. Nothing's and nobody's bigger than the game. After the game, I'll do it. And well, then the fans just unilaterally, there were no meetings about it. They just unilaterally decided to celebrate with Cal.
Alex Jackson lines out in the left. We had Chris Burman on earlier on TV. He was silent for 22 minutes. How did you handle that on the radio? You can't just be silent for 22 minutes.
And Boomer, I think, won an Emmy Award for his handling of that telecast, and I think he did it. It's television. What do you need to say? Everybody already knows what's going on. Radio, you had to every once in a while tell him where's Cal now and who's he doing. And I kind of lost it a little bit when he got to the bullpen, and Elrod Hendricks, who had known Cal since Cal was what, 10, from the minor league days, and they had a moment out there where they not just high-five but gave a little embrace, and I just thought that's a special moment for him to share that with Elrod that he's known his whole life. So there were a lot of moments like that, I think, that night anyway. But for Cal, the ovation from these fans who just staged that celebration, and Bonilla and Palmeiro did push him out of the dugout because they said, you have to go take a lap or we'll never get this game restarted.
Mayo down to Yamamoto, 2 away.
By the way, when's the last time you've done a no-hitter?
Well, and I'm not one of those people who believes that you don't mention that it's a no-hitter. I believe you do mention it.
Well, he's got one going, John.
I know. I'm not that big on seeing the Dodgers pitch a no-hitter. Let me just tell you that.
But yeah, I got that sense out on the field.
I feel like I grew up a Giants fan growing up in the Bay Area, and beat LA. I grew up with beat LA. So I thought about maybe mentioning that, about the game tonight, and hope the Orioles have a great night. Beat LA, as they say in San Francisco.
2 strikes on Holiday. John Miller here in the booth with us. Is it strange calling a Dodgers game or being on the mic for a Dodgers game from the East Coast these days?
It's so weird seeing the Dodgers here for me. We never saw the Dodgers here when this park opened or for years afterward. That was not a team you'd see come in here. So, and to see the Dodgers against the black and orange, I mean, it's like they're, the Giants East here with the black and orange. It was so weird seeing the Giants and the Orioles in the same field with the black and orange last weekend.
Yeah, and then years ago they had Halloween night or something at the ballpark in San Francisco. Like you need to tell people to dress up in San Francisco.
I remember the first game I did the year after I left the Orioles. My first game with the Giants, spring training. First inning, number 8 comes to the plate. A road game for the Giants in Peoria. And there's the road grays with black and orange. And I see number 8. I think, wow, Cal looks like he really put some weight on. I've never seen him look like this before. And then I realized, no, these are the Giants. That's Damon Berryhill, a catcher. Not a well-built catcher either. So I thought I really need to be a little bit careful out here with my new team. So I just don't want to keep calling them the Orioles over and over and over again.
I know you're busy. Can you stick around for a half inning or do you have to go?
Yeah, I have to be in St. Louis tomorrow for a 1 o'clock game. Otherwise, I'm pretty.
All right. John's back with us at the top of the 7th. 2-0 Dodgers. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. There was the home run on 21-31 night from Cal Ripken Jr. There is the Iron Man on the 30th anniversary. The home run called on radio by John Miller, who's with us here in the booth. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Jim Palmer. We heard the home run call. It featured a very excited President Bill Clinton. I know you said a few days ago your favorite home run call that you've never made.
He sort of did the call. He had his own microphone, and as a broadcaster, and I think you would agree with me, it's a big game, a historic game, and you really, if there's a big moment, you want to do it justice and come up with a really good call. So Cal hitting a home run tonight, he is going to break the record. I think fits very much in that category, and he hits the ball. It's a 3-0 count, and I made a joke with the president because the fan, when it went to 3-0, the fans booed a little bit because they think, no, you throw him a strike, you no good, Sean Bosky, you. And I said, maybe you can send a presidential order down there ordering them to throw him a strike here. And he said, well, I know Cal wants to hit one, but if they don't throw him a strike, he'll take his walk for the good of the team, because that's the kind of guy he is. And I said, oh, yes, he is. Team guy. On the other hand, even though it's 3-0, if they groove one, he says, oh, then he'll try and launch it. That was right then the pitch came in and he launched it. Oh, I thought maybe he swung at that one.
Yeah. I'd like to see the replay of that one.
Well, how you saw Albert Suarez for the Giants back in 16 and 17.
Yeah, and he pitched against the Giants.
Yeah.
That's just what you thought. Ben.
Yes.
Yeah. But he did pitch against it. He had a really good year for the Orioles last year.
9 and 7, started, relieved.
Right center Cowser will not get there. It's a base hit for Rortvedt off of Suarez, who's into the game for Sean Dubin.
But the home run, you heard it, you played it. The president kind of shouted over me, and I used to make a joke out of it that I really almost called the White House the next day to say that was the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen, and he'll never work with me again, and you tell him that for me. But the fact was, when I heard the call, I thought that made the whole thing. He's the president of the United States leading the cheering.
It's in the left from Ohtani, and Beavers is there for the first out.
Well, you had a way of doing that. I was doing a game with you when you asked Vice President Dan Quayle, have you ever done play-by-play? And he said no. And he said, well, now's a good time. And you left the booth. And I said, so Mr. Vice President, maybe you'd like to know who's hitting, and here's a scorecard. And then the first pitch was a fly ball to Randy Milligan, routine fly ball to left. I said, there are no routine fly balls to Randy Milligan and left. And the next one was a pop-up to Cal. And he says, Jim, can I call that a routine pop-up? I said to Cal Ripken, yes.
Yes, that would be routine.
So you have a way of doing that.
Hey, we were in Milwaukee just a couple weeks ago, and they had the Bob Uecker celebration of life before the game, and it was beautiful and poignant. And the story was told about Ukes. The first time that he was going to do play-by-play was at Yankee Stadium. And the two guys that he was working with, Merle Harmon and Tom Collins, they got up and left him. And he's like, where are you going? Come back. I'm not ready for this. Do not. Because he just didn't want to do it. He didn't think he'd be any good at it. And he said, and I was no good at it. That was probably the worst inning of play-by-play in history. Well, and they found a tape of it. And it was exactly the way he described it. It was bad.
You did that to me in Miami.
Exhibition game.
Yes, you said, have you ever done play-by-play? And I said, no, well, now's a good time, and you left the booth. And I said, thank God this is a visual medium.
I'm just trying to help out.
Get there, B.
That skips it past, and that's to the wall and left. Rortvedt will score. Mookie trying to leg out a triple. And he is in there. The throw bobbled by Henderson. Mookie Betts, the Dodgers' second triple of the night. It's 3-0 LA.
Well, I know the LA bats have been cold as of late, but I tell you what, they're having much better swings so far tonight.
Yeah, they hit lefties, I think, better than righties. Match up better.
Freddie
get
Freeman.
Muncy back, and
Mookie Betts has always. It's not been a typical Mookie Betts year, and boy, Beavers an outstanding effort, but it gets by him. And Mookie Betts was smelling a triple, and he makes it in to third base. The Orioles going to have to pull the infield in.
For Teoscar Hernandez. By the way, if you want to take a batter, I'll gladly step out. You could be the Dan Quayle. I'll be your John Miller.
No, you'll all have to get up and leave if I'm going to do play-by-play. That's the way I run.
Should we all? What do you think? Should we all take the headsets off and leave them?
See you later, John.
All right, bye, John. Don't tempt us with a good time, will you? It's great to have you back on the mic here at Oriole Park.
Well, it's such a pleasure to be here tonight. Ooh, nice pick.
Nice play, huh? Well, Gunnar Henderson, what is it, 71 games now without an error in a row. That's how good he has been on defense. This wasn't an easy play here.
That's Ripken-like.
Well, Cal saw Gunnar when Gunnar first came to the big leagues 3 or 4 years ago, and he said, Gunnar Henderson's going to be a special on defense. Cal saw it from the very beginning. Watch this play. Backhand side, puts his nose right behind the ball, checks the runner at third, pushes him back, and takes the out.
I remember Earl moved Cal during the '82 season to short. But the next year, '83, was going to be the year where he was the first time going to spring training as the shortstop. And he brought Mark Belanger, who had just retired, to spring training for a week. And I said, what's going on? And he said, well, Belanger was the great shortstop. And I just wanted to pick his brain. So I'm saying, like little tips on where to position yourself, how to. And he said, no. He just retired. He knows almost every hitter that we're going to be facing. I want to go through every hitter in the American League, because there was no interleague play yet, and have him tell me how to play this guy. And that's what they did, because Cal had that kind of a memory. And for Cal, it was all about positioning himself based on what pitch was to be thrown. And he said, Belanger, when you thought about Belanger, you never saw him dive for a ball. No need.
One time.
He
lost his balance and turned to double play.
Wow.
Frank Robinson hit the ball when he was with the Angels. Mike Msina talked about that Cal was, Dallas Green used to say the 2-out shortstop. Somebody said, what do you mean, Dallas? He said, when the ball's hit to him with 2 outs, everybody runs off the field. And that's what they did with Cal.
Wow. Well, and Cal was that kind of a shortstop. That was so cool. And for a lot of time, he didn't get credit for it because he made it look so easy. He's not making diving plays. There was a guy in Toronto, a great shortstop named Tony Fernandez.
Right.
Cabeza is his nickname. And I used to talk about Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird. Michael Jordan could jump over the top of Larry Bird. And yet, if you talk about his knowledge and court vision and whatnot, I don't know that Jordan was any better than Larry Bird to help your team win a game or a championship.
Into right from Call. That's the end of the top of the 7th. John Miller, an absolute joy to share part of this night with you.
Well, I'm honored to be here and honored to sit with you guys. Your call on that home run last night by Basayo that ended the game, I thought was a classic. And I thought, man, I'm glad I wasn't there, because I couldn't have done even close to that. So great job.
Thank you so much. John Miller in the house here on 2131 night. On 1 to Jeremiah Jackson here in the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers 3, Orioles nothing. And again, our thanks to the great John Miller. If there is a Mount Rushmore of baseball broadcasters, that man is on it. And we're so delighted he was here for 14 years, and so wonderful to have him back in the house tonight.
It's just one of those voices. You don't have to. All you got to do is hear. You hear and you know it's John Miller.
And I can confirm for folks, those of you who've been listening to John Miller, probably some of you for decades and decades, it sounds the same sitting next to him as it does coming through your radio or your television.
His cadence and the way he delivers it is just, it's unmistakable.
And enthusiasm.
And now the Orioles need a hit. After all our special guests on the special evening, it's been a special night for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a no-hitter through 6 1/3.
Yeah, go on your MLB app and you see no-hitter. He's been special tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the balls that are movement. The two-seamer's got unbelievable. That's a two-seamer right there. It's got unbelievable movement. The four-seamer, he can ride it to the top of the zone. And then when you talk about the split, the curveball, the cutter, he just has a way of keeping you off balance.
Well, you look your 7th inning, you start looking at pitch counts. Most he's thrown this year, I think, what, 110? And he's at 80, maybe 88, somewhere in there. No, 90.
And remember, he pitched 7 seasons over in Japan at the highest level there. Won 70 games, Jim. Only lost 29 with a 1.82 ERA. And of course, he comes to the States, goes to the Dodgers last year, and was nicked up a little bit, but still the numbers were good. In a healthy season this year, he is really putting up some numbers.
Henderson's bat is destroyed. It lands near second base, and he is thrown out by the Dodgers second baseman Rojas.
You ever play wiffle ball?
all the time. Grew up playing it.
He's making the ball move.
That's what it looks like.
I mean, watch this ball cut in on his fist. Again, you don't see it. It gets on the trademark, and you got some kindling.
It's almost like the Mariano Rivera's cutter, you know, where hitters think it's a fastball and they go to get it, and as they're going to get it, if you're left-handed, it is just boring in on you.
Well, Yamamoto is 1 out shy of a season-high, tying 7 innings, which he accomplished on Sunday against Arizona, and Mountcastle just gets a weak little piece of a cutter. Yamamoto has thrown 2 no-hitters in Nippon professional baseball, June 18th, 2022 and September 9th, 2023, nearly 2 years to the date for the Oryx Buffaloes. And he's ahead of Mountcastle 0-2, still throwing 97 into the 7th.
He's right where a lot of pitchers want to be, right? He's a smaller guy, so it's a lower release point, and he can just shoot the ball when it feels like it's going uphill.
Yeah.
Mountcastle has struck out swinging on 2 fastballs. 8 Ks for Yamamoto, are 2 shy of a season high. The 0-2. And Mounty gets a piece.
Yeah, 10 of those. He'd done that twice last game. You know, looking at the last no-hitters against the Orioles, I did them all. Unfortunately, Nomo back in 2001 in April, and then Clay Buchholz. They won 10-0 that day, and then I did the Awakuma game up in Seattle, afternoon game, back in 2015. Roof closed.
To the right side, Freeman. Yamamoto's got to hurry, and he does. Boy, he sprinted over there.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, when you got a no-hitter going, you're going to find a way to get to the bag faster than the base runner will, for sure. And Freddie Freeman led him perfectly. Orioles down 3-0.
Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. So many stars tonight, and there are a couple more in the front. Pat Sajak in the back. Caitlin Clark, the great star of the Indiana Fever, who are in town because the Washington Mystics are playing their games in Baltimore this year, though unfortunately Caitlin is hurt and out for the year. Right groin injury.
Boy, is she fun to watch, huh?
Here with her teammate Lexi Hull. Got a big ovation on the scoreboard a couple of innings ago. It's been a night of stars, but right now no one has shined brighter than Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers starting pitcher, who's working on a no-hitter. Trevor Rogers 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 earned, walked 1, struck out 6. So Rogers extends his Oriole franchise streak. 13 straight starts, 2 runs or less, but he has been outdueled by Yamamoto. He's happily chatting away despite the no-hitter in the dugout.
Man, Mark Pryor saying, I don't know what he was telling him. I'd just be telling him, do what you've been doing. Been that good.
Yamamoto is sitting at 95 pitches. Orioles will have Cowser, Rivera, Beavers up in the 8th. And Albert Suarez in his second inning of relief, 2-2 to Andy Pages.
Yeah, well, last we saw Albert Suarez was in San Diego, and he went 2 perfect innings in his first game back since the end of March.
And what a boost that was. What a miss he was for the Orioles this year. Someone who could start, who could close, who could pitch anywhere in between last year.
And brings experience, man. He has been everywhere.
And he strikes out Pages up the ladder. Pages strikes out for a 3rd time tonight.
Well, that's what Big Al can do to you right there. He can elevate that 4-seamer right to the top of the zone when he gets ahead.
Well, the time on the clock, 9:31. In military time, of course, that is 21:31. Which held a special significance 30 years ago when at 21:31 military time, Cal Ripken Jr. was just beginning that long trot around the ballpark after the push from Rafael Palmeiro and Bobby Bonilla. One of those special Kismet baseball universal moments. We had a whole lot of them that night. Center field, Cowser will give way to the right fielder, Jackson. Rojas is retired for the second time. Time now for word from Hyundai.
Enjoy the new car.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on select Hyundai vehicles. Hurry in.
Kike Hernandez, 2 down. Never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. 30 years ago, we didn't know we were going to get a home run for a third straight game for Cal, and tonight we didn't know we were going to get a no-hit bid from Yamamoto, and he's had to be good. The Dodgers have only scored 3.
Yeah, everybody remembers Cal homering in 21-30 and 21-31, but a lot of people forgot he homered in 21-29 as well.
Kike Hernandez walks, single, fly ball. Chases a good cutter from Suarez.
Great pitch. Yeah, the ability to start, relieve. That's what he brings to the table.
So valuable. And he could be that guy next year too for the Orioles, as Tyler Wells could be as well.
Two-year San Francisco Giant, the second-year Oriole with a 1-2 for Hernandez. Who doesn't bite.
There's big Tyler Wells. Man, it was good to see him back on the bump in San Diego. Typical Tyler Wells. Fastball 93, 94. Outstanding command. Doesn't walk guys. Forces contact.
Yeah, strike thrower.
On the ground to Henderson. It'll be Cowser, Rivera, and Beavers as the Orioles look to bust up the no-hit bid of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 2026 Birdland memberships are on sale now, and Birdland members can enjoy a 30% discount on all concessions and merchandise purchases in the stadium. Learn more on how you can become a Birdland member at Orioles.com/memberships. It's rally cap time here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Orioles being no hit. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He retired the first 6. He walked Dylan Beavers and Samuel Basayo in the 3rd. And he's retired the next 14 since.
What's he up to? 96 pitches now. I think 110 is a season high. That was back in May.
And he's about to get to a season high. 7 1/3 is call ducked behind Pages on the flyout from Cowser.
Yeah, usually defer to the center fielder. Almost ran him over.
You would think the urgency with a no-hitter going there would be very good communication going on in the outfield right now, but it wasn't great.
Well, it looks like Alex calls he plays left like he hits because he's very animated.
Yamamoto.
And
Okay.
there haven't even been a ball hit hard tonight. No. How many no-hitters you pitch in college? Probably a bunch, right?
No, not in college.
No.
No.
Why? Aluminum bats? No, but I mean, usually there's a great play or a line drive, somebody a dive.
I mean, there were a couple one-hitters, but never a no-hitter. They're just hard to get, man. You gotta be pretty lucky.
Rivera to right, and Yamamoto is 4 outs away.
And the other thing is, he usually throws about 16 pitches an inning, and tonight much more efficient. So again, career season high, what, 110?
Yeah, 110 back in May was his season high, and he's at 99. This will be 100.
The last solo Dodger no-hitter was 11 years ago. The man who is scheduled to start tomorrow, Clayton Kershaw.
Man, what happened on that? Did you see that?
Splitter with a mind of its own.
Yeah, I mean, that ball's just moving, like you said. It's wiffle ball right now.
Dylan Beavers will try to break it up. The longest no-hit bid we've seen an Orioles game this year, tied for it. That didn't even hit the glove.
He went at that like he got crossed up a little bit. And again, Yamamoto calls his own game.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, Brandon Young, 7 2/3 perfect for the Orioles in Houston. Ramon Urias broke that up with an infield single, and the Orioles don't care how hard it's hit as long as they get a hit. There has really been no stressful inning tonight. The third, he walked the first two, got a strikeout, and then a first pitch double play. And that's the high pitch count inning at just 17. Down the middle to Beavers, it's 1 and 2.
I mean, still throwing 98.
Yeah, I mean, he's over 100 pitches now.
That's why I thought that they might think about having, after the back to walks, maybe you know, have Mayo bunt, try to get him over, and at that point he might have played the infield in, or might have gotten a break, sacrifice fly, something. But he's been unbelievably good.
Beavers had to lunge just to spoil that. He walked in the third. One of 2 Oriole base runners tonight. Both of them walks.
Well, he's now reached what, 15 out of 18 games for the Orioles, one way or the other.
Beaver strikes out swinging, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto will head to the 9th inning with a chance for history.
That goes to prove even the greatest records are made to be broken. And wherever my former teammate Lou Gehrig is today, I'm sure he's tipping his cap to you, Cal Ripken.
One more special moment from a night of him 30 years ago when Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig's teammate and one of the greatest baseball players of all time, spoke to the crowd and to Cal after the Iron Man broke the Iron Horse's consecutive games record.
And how cool was that?
You were there. You tell me, how cool was it?
It was unbelievable. I mean, you get goosebumps today. Joe DiMaggio out on the field talking about Lou Gehrig and a record that Cal Ripken just broke.
Yeah, we talked about records, what, 56 straight games? What do you have in AAA, like 52 or something like that earlier? Whoa.
Rortvedt in the right, and then hangs up for Jackson. 2 of the all-time seemingly unbreakable, unbeatable numbers in baseball history are 56 Joe DiMaggio and 26-32 Cal. And now the number we're all focusing on is 0. That's the Orioles hit total against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And they've done well pitching wise to stay in the game at 3-0. Albert Suarez, a 3rd inning of relief. The Orioles will have Alex Jackson lead off the bottom of the 9th. Samuel Basallo left this game with right hand discomfort, took a foul bunt to the hand. Then Kobe Mayo, and then Jackson Holiday. 8-9-1 against Yamamoto, who is trying to spoil this historic anniversary with a little history of his own. Shohei Ohtani 1 for 4, led off the game with a single, had an RBI. The 3rd, drove in the game's 1st run. Right now, all the Dodgers need. And a beautiful changeup for a strike. Hyundai Super Bowl Cam, the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event deals so right it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. That was the 5th inning, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Trevor Rogers struck out Ohtani.
Pretty good curveball right there. You don't realize how big Albert Suarez. Now, you're tall. He is a big, thick guy.
And he can really spin the baseball, too. You look at his spin rates, the curveball, slider, and, of course, that 4-seam fastball.
So can this guy, too, spin the ball.
Yes, he can.
101 last night.
3 2/3 last night, allowed just 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 5. Leading off again, has an RBI this evening. And a chopper to second. Holiday stabs it and makes a fine throw.
Yeah, you know, Ohtani didn't, he was pitching last night, didn't run some balls out. It doesn't look to me he's running quite as well as he did last year when he stole 54 bases. and maybe being both a pitcher and a hitter, he usually beats this ball out.
Yeah, he didn't get out of the box quickly. The finish of the swing, kind of watch the finish of the swing. So I kind of pulled him back a little bit.
For a big guy, he can really run.
Yeah, it's not very often somebody steps on a baseball field at the highest level and they can throw a ball harder than anybody. They can hit a ball further than anybody. And oh, by the way, typically he can outrun just about anybody. But that's who Shohei Ohtani is.
Mookie Betts out of play on the 40th pitch for Suarez in relief. Mookie has 2 of the 3 RBIs tonight. Single that popped out of Gunnar Henderson's glove with 2 out in the 5th. And a run scoring triple in the 7th. 3-0 Dodgers. The no-hitter from Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the works. There has been no action whatsoever in the Los Angeles bullpen tonight.
Yeah, they'll probably get somebody up when he goes out to pitch the 9th. It's usually the way it is done. Oh, another one off the end of the bat. Big swing.
Beavers gets there. Alex Jackson, Kobe Mayo, and Jackson Holiday stand between Yoshinobu Yamamoto and a no-hitter. 8 innings, 25 batters, and no hits. 2 third-inning walks, the only Oriole base runners against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Looking to be the first pitcher to throw a solo no-hitter since his now teammate Blake Snell did for the Giants last August the 2nd. And looking to throw the first no-hitter in Major League Baseball in 2025. There has only been 1 no-hitter in the history of Camden Yards. Alex Jackson would like to change that, or not to change that. The only no-hitter ever thrown at Camden Yards, 2001 Hideo Nomo for the Boston Red Sox, April 4th of that year. Jackson, Mayo, and Holiday. Alex is in an 0-2 hole.
Seems like he's hardly left anything in the heart of the plate. Everything has been right at the top of the zone, down and away to the right-handers. That cutter's been boring inside on the left-handers.
This is tied a Major League career high for Yamamoto with 8 innings. May 7th last year against the Marlins. His 0-2 pitch. Hit strike 3. 8 1/3.
It's incredible, the movement. I don't know if that's a splitter or a 2-seamer, but the bottom dropped out.
I mean, it just watch it go left to right and just fade down. I mean, how do you make a ball move like that?
Well, I guess that.
Yep, there's a splitter grip right there.
Yep. That's not tumbling. That's veering.
That thing ought to have a blinker on it tonight, the way it's moving.
Kobe Mayo to center field. The new center fielder, Justin Dean, has the 26th out for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 1 out shy of his 3rd career no-hitter in major professional baseball and his first in the major leagues.
We've got a lot of Dodger fans here, and obviously Orioles. So everybody on their feet.
It's up to 21-year-old Jackson Holiday. Rips the first pitch to the screen.
Yeah, his stuff's so good when you do get a good pitch to hit, and that's 97, but it's out over the plate. You still don't quite get to it.
Yamamoto looking to throw the 24th no-hitter in Dodgers history. His 0-1 is wide, and Holiday holds his swing, still throwing 94-mile-per-hour splitters. His next pitch will be a Major League career high, number 111.
He is running on adrenaline right now.
Holiday takes wide for ball 2.
And you make a decision. Who do you want to pitch to? It's not a perfect game. You got a 3-0 lead. You can throw the ball as he's done all night for the edges.
Holiday to right field. That ball is hit deep at the wall. It's gone. Jackson Holiday ends the no-hitter with 1 out to go. He ends the shutout as well. And he spoils the magic for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And oh, by the way, brings the Orioles to within 2.
Well, I tell you what a swing that was. Yamamoto can't believe it. Young Jackson Holliday. I was expecting a little bit more of an effort from the right fielder, to be honest with you. With 2 out and 1 out away from a no-hitter.
He just turned around and
that ball barely, and I mean barely, got out too.
Well, I thought it hit the top of the wall. It was a double. Little cutter that right down the middle. You talked about not making any pitches in the middle of the plate. Well, there's one. And Jackson doesn't miss it.
He was oh so close. But unlike Cal, Yamamoto could not quite go the distance. He'll receive a deserved ovation from the fans in blue and in orange who appreciate this accomplishment. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 8 2/3 no-hit, surrenders a Jackson Holliday home run. There has still not been a no-hitter in Major League Baseball this season because of this swing from Jackson Holliday.
Boy, he got to a cutter, man, right on the inside part. Now, Paez has moved from center field to right field. I thought if he kept moving right here and went up on the wall, he had a chance maybe to catch that ball.
Oh, he just turns around and watches it. And it hits off the back end of the.
I mean, it would have been a way above average play, but still, with a no-hitter on the line, man, I want to see, if I'm on the bump, I want to see you going up on the wall to get that one.
Well, you are 6'8".
That's not a tall wall, though.
No, it isn't. What, about 7 feet?
Well, Blake Trinan is in to try to finish it. Andy Paez, who moved from center to right field this inning, sees the ball go over his head. And as we look at the numbers for Trinan, how appropriate is it, by the way, that on 30th anniversary of Cal's night, it's Jackson Holliday wearing Cal Sr.'s old number 7, who breaks up the no-hit bid.
Well, he's still got a chance to get a guy on. Of course, Trinan's been very, very good. Has not given up an earned run in his last 10 appearances.
Yeah, the idea is to get Gunnar Henderson to the plate.
Tying run is on deck, but an 0-2 for Jackson is not chased.
And Trinan, basically a fastball at 95.6, somewhere in there, and a really good sweep.
He was nearly the 3rd consecutive Japanese-born pitcher to throw a no-hitter against the Orioles. That is a sweeper that's not called.
Yeah, that ball was certainly could have been called a strike.
There have been 3 no-hitters by Japanese-born players. Hideo Nomo twice, the last one against the O's, and you mentioned, Jim, Hisashi Iwakuma. So it nearly happened to the Orioles by 3 straight Japanese pitchers. And they are still alive in this game, barely, on a foul tip by Jackson to keep the count 2-2. They are just 1 base runner away from giving Gunnar a shot here on a night that's been filled with surprises. Another 2-2. That's in the dirt.
There you go.
Well, I tell you, Trinan, he's got to throw something he knows he can throw over. Tony Manzolino looking on. He knows exactly what you were talking about, Kevin. Get a guy on, you'll take your chances.
Especially if it's Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
The 3-2 into left center field. That ball is clobbered. It's off the base of the wall. The Orioles get back-to-back extra base hits with 2 outs in the 9th. And here comes the Orioles shortstop.
Man, I tell you what, Jeremiah Jackson, Action Jackson, continues to perform, man. Got down 1 ball and 2 strikes, got the count back to even, and boy, got a good fastball right in the heart of the plate. I love how his nose is on the ball, and he just buries that one right at 376. And now the tying run comes to the plate in the way of Gunnar Henderson.
Daniel Johnson Customary late game pinch runner for Jackson takes over. If this game went to a 10th, he'd be playing the outfield anyway, so may as well throw his speed in there now just in case. And here is Gunnar, and there is Mark Pryor.
Maybe he's doing the Earl Weaver, the negative positive. You know, Earl will give you everything negative that could happen. See, so whatever you do, do not throw a home run here. You know?
Give me some positive thoughts.
Well, no, but that's no. Earl figured if he gave you everything negative, that would be being positive. It'd be like your caddy, you know.
Right.
You got a one-stroke lead in the U.S.
Whatever you do, don't hit it in the water on this approach shot.
Exactly.
There's water to the left.
Yeah.
Don't hit it in the water.
That's right. I'm sure that Mark Pryor, who's done a great job, is saying, okay, what do we want to do here? And you know what Gunnar would like to do.
One franchise shortstop watching another. Ball one to Henderson. Brennan Miller and Ben Rortvedt had a nice little meeting there. Some late game entanglement.
That's a nice block right there, man. He runs over everybody to get to this ball.
Gunnar Henderson, who broke Cal Ripken's home run record by an Orioles shortstop just a season ago, takes one in the heart for strike one. 16 home runs, 6 on fastballs this year, 6 breaking balls, 4 on off speed. Blake Trinan doesn't give up too many. He has allowed 3 though this year in 19 innings. Is 1-1. Out of play, and the Orioles once more are down to their final strike.
Well, we saw that last night with Tanner Scott. He's down to the last strike, and he threw one right down the middle.
That was also a 1-2 pitch.
Yeah, and Basayo just launched it.
Fouled away. Challenged him with a fastball again.
Well, when's the last time we've seen Gunnar homer to left center? Been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah, he can do it.
Trinan is a hard guy, though, because of that sweeper, and he'll use that sweeper a lot. So it's hard when you get down 1 ball, 2 strikes to sit on a fastball.
Whoa, hit him.
Had to, huh?
It sure did. Henderson reaches base on a 2-out grazing. The Dodgers will take a look to see if they should call for a challenge. If not, it'll be Ryan Mountcastle with a chance to win it.
There's your sweeper.
Yep, gets the top of his left foot. Well, double ties it. Home run wins it.
Can the Orioles do it again? They did it last night. Samuel Basayo.
Guys, you think double steal's a possibility here?
Well, I tell you, if you look at where Hernandez is playing at third, he's way back.
Mountcastle couldn't help himself.
I mean, this has not been a couple of good games. Mountie doesn't look like he's seeing the ball like he did out on the West Coast.
Freddie Freeman is not holding Henderson on.
Well,
double steal would put 2 in scoring position.
Yep, like we said last night, it only takes 1 good swing.
Runners hold, and a ball just around the outside corner from Trinan.
There's been a lot of those pitches tonight.
Most of the sold-out crowd remains on this Saturday, September 6th. That's down and out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan Mountcastle, who does not have a walk-off in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Yet. Way outside, and the runners will advance now. Now all the Orioles need is a base hit to tie as Trinan uncorks a corker.
And there's nobody up in their bullpen. So if with a 3-1 count, if he walks Mountcastle, you're going to get a matchup with Cowser coming up. Lefty versus righty, even though I would imagine they're going to get somebody up in a hurry.
3-1 to Mountie. Tying runs are aboard. Nope. He takes ball 4, and the Orioles load the bases for Colton Cowser.
This game's got a little drama, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It changed quickly too.
And it just got the lefty out. Tanner Scott.
Van Rortvedt is going to give him some time. Jorge Mateo, who was picked off last night, will likely not make that mistake again. He's the winning run for Mountcastle out at first. Well, this game has turned rather quickly from a possible Dodger no-hitter to a possible Dodger no-winner.
Yamamoto got the first 2 outs quickly. And of course, young Jackson Holiday, home run, a double by Jeremiah Jackson, a hit by pitch, and a walk, and here we are.
Colton Cowser 0 for 7 in this series. The winning runs are aboard, and Cowser sees his sinker fade through the zone. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, and their outfield playing very deep early is now playing shallow. They've come in. So any ball up the gap, we're going to win this game.
Yep. Because Mateo can go from first base, and with 2 out, there'll be no hesitation.
And Blake Trinan can't find a strike zone.
And if you're Colton Cowser here, patiently aggressive, looking for your pitch in your zone and get your A swing off. Sit on a fastball, sit on a breaking ball, it doesn't matter. Sit on one of them and look for it.
Not even close. Well, 30 years ago, boys, the most famous swing of the night came on 3-0.
I don't know if he's going to give him the green light here. He doesn't have the experience that Cal had. Yep, man, throws him a breaking ball. Gutter.
The Dodgers have had the Orioles at match point now for 25 pitches. A home run, a double, a hit batsman, a wild pitch, a walk.
Sit on that breaking ball.
Cowser takes the breaking ball low. He walks in a run. The Orioles are within 3-2, and the winning run is now at second. The tying run at third, and the Dodger bullpen activated once more.
And how quickly it can change.
Dave Roberts will activate Tanner Scott, who took the loss in the bottom of the 9th yesterday. Emmanuel Rivera will try to tie it or win it. No runs and no hits through 8 2/3 for the Orioles. And all of a sudden, 5 2-out batters have reached base. The tying run, Gunnar Henderson, is at third. The winning run, Jorge Mateo, at second. And Tanner Scott, who took the loss yesterday on a walk-off for Samuel Basayo, will look for a little redemption as the Orioles look to torture the former Oriole with Emmanuel Rivera.
Yeah, 11 blown saves.
First pitch is low.
And again, he was throwing what? Fastballs up to 99. Best pitch is his slider. He was quoted as saying, making terrible pitch selections. Baseball hates me right now. Let's see if he hates it. Baseball hates him again. You made a great point when Tanner was with the Orioles. His pitch he controlled the most was that slider.
When he got himself in a bind, it didn't matter what the count was. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. He landed on the slider because it was a pitch he could control and throw for strikes.
Rivera up the middle, base hit. Mateo around third. Mateo will score. One more magical moment in time on September the 6th in Baltimore.
I mean, are you kidding me? 2 nights in a row.
From no-hitter to a win. 5 straight losses for the Dodgers, 5 straight wins for the O's.
Orioles are 5-0, folks, in the month of September. The Dodgers 0-5, and Emmanuel Rivera. I don't remember a night like this now. I don't. A no-hitter through 8 2/3. Jackson Holiday homers, Jeremiah Jackson doubles, Gunners hit by a pitch, Mounty walks as Cowser does too, and then Emmanuel Rivera a base hit right back up the middle, and the Orioles walk it off for the 2nd consecutive night.
I'm telling you right now, I think the whole team should run around the warning track.
Everybody take a lap.
What a win.
How about this? The Orioles get 1 base hit tonight with a runner in scoring position, and it's the game winner. And there it is, just a fastball right at the bottom. It might even been below the bottom of the zone. Emmanuel Rivera just right off the end of the bat, up the middle from whence it came, and then the race was on.
Didn't he do that Sunday against the Padres?
Yep. Look at Jorge Mateo. He got a great jump as he should with 2 out. Not even close. And Tanner Scott back-to-back nights. What more can we want? 30-year anniversary of 21-31. Does it get any better than this?
Years ago, Chris Burman said that Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star. Winning this game with where the Orioles were with 2 outs in the 9th certainly felt like an unreachable star. Emmanuel Rivera won it, and he is with us now along with Brandon Quinones. Emmanuel, what on earth just happened?
¿Qué en la planeta acabó de pasar?
Nada, de verdad que estoy emocionado y traté de poner la bola en juego, gracias a Dios salió el resultado.
I don't know. I'm truly excited. All I was trying to do was put the ball in play, and I'm really happy the result ended up playing out that way.
Was this an extra special night for you all, Emmanuel, given everything that happened pregame, during the game with Cal?
Fue una noche extra especial después de toda la ceremonia que tuvimos por Cal y todo eso esta noche.
Sí, sumamente especial, ¿sabes? Nada por la ceremonia y de la forma que terminó el juego, una noche muy especial.
Yes, extremely special, not only because of the ceremony and everything going on in that sense, but also because of the outcome of this game.
Tell me what you're looking for right there. You're facing Tanner Scott, a hard throw. You sitting on a fastball, looking fastball there?
Cuéntanos lo que está esperando en ese abate contra Tanner Scott, un lanzador que tira muy duro.
Nada, fui con calma al home play y buscar un buen picheo, poder poner la bola en juego, y eso fue lo que pasó.
Well, I tried to go up to the plate, with a calm approach, really just focus on putting the ball in play there.
Well, you did it in San Diego, and it worked again tonight. Had a couple of 2 RBI hits out there, and once again the approach, just trying to hit the ball back up the middle.
Lo hiciste en San Diego también. En ese juego diste un hit o 2 hiles con 2 carreras impulsadas. En esa situación solamente estás tratando de darle a la pelota por el center field.
Nada, yo siempre, ese siempre ha sido mi approach, quedarme hacia el medio del terreno y poner la bola en juego, sí, tratar de siempre poner la bola en juego.
Yeah, I think that's always been my approach, trying to stay through the center of the field and just trying to do what I can to put the ball in play.
Emmanuel, congratulations on the win. Hard to believe this happened in the 9th inning, but thank you for creating another magic moment for us here in Baltimore.
Thank you.
Manuel Rivera, and thank you, Q. You just never know. He may not have even known. A third baseman early and late in his career for the Orioles. Watches the Orioles' latest third baseman deliver maybe one of the most memorable hits in this ballpark. These Orioles, like the Orioles 30 years ago, they may not be in the postseason picture, but 30 years ago they were playing a team from California, trying to spoil their party, an Angels team in the postseason race. This Orioles team spoils the night for the Dodgers. Haven't seen many, if any, nights like this